I have no idea. I don't want to Google it because I don't want to mess up my algorithm, right? But like, you know. All right, guys. So this next one's a little bit of a longer one, right? It's a roller coaster, though. I'm excited to read it. Okay. So here we go, chat. The subject line on this is my 35-year-old male mother's 58-year-old female new fiance wants me to call him dad. He's 24. How do I navigate this?
Oh no.
God.
How old is the original poster?
Uh-oh. The poster is 35. He's a 35-year-old male.
Oh no.
And the fiance who wants to call him dad is 24.
Yeah.
He's fully 11 years older than this man.
He's a kindergartner. He's a kindergartner in comparison.
Right?
Oh
it's like, uh-oh. All right, but maybe the context will save it, right? I don't know. Right? So let's read it together. Let's see. Okay. Please buckle in because this is all so weird. I'm a 35-year-old man, and for some backstory, my dad died when I was 19, leaving my mom with me and my 2 siblings. I'm the oldest. It took some time, but eventually my mom started dating again. We don't live together per se, but our houses back onto each other and have a gate. That's pretty common for her to offer to do my laundry or for me to just go over for dinner or go look after our dog, that kind of stuff. Plus, me and my siblings go over there for dinner every other Friday night or so. A bit after she started, the men she's been dating have been getting younger and younger. And I've never had a problem with that, which, fair enough, right? Consenting adults, right?
Yeah.
Like a massive age gap after a certain point is like, whatever, right? Like, do you, dude, you know? Do you.
Yeah,
like, both of them are
yeah.
adults and they can consent, it's fine, right?
Honestly, props to the kid too.
Any
like,
thoughts?
obviously,
Any thoughts?
kid by 35. He's not really a kid, but like,
yeah.
you're still the kid of your parent. And like, it can be incredibly easy to judge your parents' choices and stuff like that. So the fact that he wasn't really judging the whole age of the potential candidates for romance is a really big thing, actually.
Yep. I get it. Like it's strange, obviously, but like I don't think it's any course for like, you know, like it's any cause for like, oh no, don't do that's wrong. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. You know, like after a certain point when everybody's like a grown ass, fully mature adult, do you, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting hurt, right? It's all good. Okay. So she's been very open to me and my siblings that she wants to get married again, and we've always been supportive, at least after the initial.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
Okay. No, you're chill. It happens, right? That's the nature of like live content. Things are gonna get scuffed. It's okay. You know, it's part of life. Anyway, so he proposed at the start of autumn, and they want to get married next summer. Again, me and my siblings are fine with this because it's her life and we trust him. He's a nice guy and they clearly love each other.
Aww.
But anyway, so long and short of it is, this weekend, her fiance, let's call him Phil, calls me and asks me if I could come over. I say, yeah, sure. I'll be over after work. And I assume he just needs some help with some DIY stuff that they're doing. When I get over there, he calls me sport and says, we need to talk.
No.
Okay. First of all, already kind of weird, champ, right? Like,
is he Jay Gatsby?
even like, right? It's like, what? But like, even like putting aside the idea that, you know, like sport is a little bit condescending. Do we call this like a pet name? I guess kind of, right? Like I don't know, a nickname, a moniker? I don't know.
A nickname, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
I guess.
I'm not sure what we would refer to that as.
It's weird, right? Like, what? And like, the thing is, dude, usually with this kind of stuff, there's more of a rapport, and there's usually like, I guess, for lack of a better term, like permission to do it too. You know, like there has to be some level of close relationship here, and like the nature of the relationship is also put into perspective. Like fathers will call their kids sport or whatever because that's the dad. You know, like it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But like this is weird already, right? Like, you're not even really officially this guy's dad, and like you are 11 years younger. What?
It's kind of a really personal choice too, and not something which I necessarily think the guy should be initiating. I feel like that this is something maybe the kid should be initiating in this instance.
Especially because he is the one going into the family, right? Like he's the outsider coming in, right? It's like, huh? But let's see, more context, right? I should mention this is something he does to me and my little brother, calling us things like kid, sport, scout, little buddy, or my personal favorite, calling us red and blue.
What?
Seemingly out of nowhere. What? What? My brother is 30, by the way. He tried it with my little sister, 28 years old, and called her princess?
What?
Once, but he stopped when she just stared at him.
Oh, good.
Okay. Bro, what the frick, dude? Buko says, I hate that. You know what? Me too.
I'm just... Like,
why would you do this, bro?
I have been called princess by a few different people, and there are different ways that you can take it. For example, when your father calls you princess, it's like, yes, I am princess, thank you. When it's someone who you have got sort of a very good chemistry thing going on, you know, like not romance, but you know, just like it can even be friendship and stuff like that. That can be nice. And then you've got the people who call you princess, and they haven't checked if they can call you princess, and that is a reason to potentially shank. Sorry.
No, it's so true, right? Like I mentioned earlier with like the sport one, it's like it's weirdly condescending to it. It's both an assumption of how close you two are, which you know, they're definitely overstepping, but it's also like there has to be like a relationship that is established that this is okay, and it's just like, what are you doing, bro?
Shank is the correct reaction. Thank you, Buko.
Yep. Shank is 100% the correct reaction here, man. Okay, so the thing with Phil is that he reminds me a lot of Charlie Day's character in Horrible Bosses, in that his sole ambition has always been to meet a girl, get married, and have a family. Okay? When he told me and my brother this, my brother made some joke about how maybe our mom's going to come short on the last part. Which he got very upset, but they made and he got very upset, but they made up after. Anyway, so I go around and I ask if my mom's around, and he says no, it's just him, and that we quote unquote really need to talk man to man. Okay, I say sure, and he starts talking about how he's always wanted to be a father and raise a son to call his own. And then he drops this bombshell by saying, now I know I can never replace your father, the man who made you, but it will mean the world to me if you could call me dad. Oh, God.
I feel bad for him, actually. I kind of feel bad for him. Like, I mean, not the way he's been talking to them or anything like that. But I can imagine sort of being like, shit, if this is as serious as it feels like it's going to be, these people right here are going to be my only option having kids. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that trying to how do you say it? Infantilize or something like that.
I guess,
30-something-year-old individuals is not right. But I do have a little bit of sympathy for him on that front.
So I will say, to Phil's credit, he did ask nicely at least.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like he asked respectfully, right? It's just he started with the whole sport and princess thing, and already that's kind of like, brother, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
It's
Yeah. So after Phil said that, I'll admit it, I sniggered a little. And then I knew he was serious because he looked like he was about to cry. Oh God.
Oh no.
And he didn't drop it either. I asked if he really meant it, and he got really emotional and started talking about what it means to be a man and how his purpose is to have and provide for a family, and he wants me and my siblings to be part of that family. Like, he reiterated he'll never replace my father, and this did rub me the wrong way a bit, but he's ready to step up and be my dad and provide for and protect me and my siblings. And I'm just sat there thinking, dude, I'm a decade older than you, live in a separate house. I don't need providing for, and even if I did, I don't think a guy a third of my age who works part-time at the hardware store and is into collecting manga is the man to do it. No offense if you are into that, LOL. Just, I don't know. I was taken a bit aback. I was in shock, so I just said, okay. And he gets emotional again, but in a happy way. Talking about how he wants to go camping or go to a baseball game. I don't even like baseball, Lamau. Oh, God. And how he joined the Lions this year and how he wants to bring me into it too as, quote unquote, his boy. What? Which just feels so surreal. Because again, I'm 10 years older than this guy. Well, I ended it by just saying this has gotten a little bit too weird and I was going home. He got very upset and I left, called my brother, and he agreed it sounds weird as fuck. Okay, thoughts so far?
Well, first off, let me have a sip. But oh my God, that's a lot to wrap my head around. First off, I do feel like the manga thing was a little bit unnecessary.
Yeah, like, come on now. Like, what the frick, right? Like, he did say, like, no offense if you're into that, but you know, like, come on, man. Like, just because you read manga doesn't mean you can't be a good dad, you know? But like, okay, that's beside the point, I suppose.
Yeah, and I kind of feel sympathy. Because I'm just realizing this poor dude is completely deluding himself that things are going to work out, because obviously this means a lot to him. Like, being a parent means a lot to him. And if he was talking to like even a 12-year-old boy or something like that, what he said is kind of the right thing to say. But to a 35-year-old and a 30-year-old and a 28-year-old, it's the wrong vibe.
It's weird, right? And also, it's like, it's a lot to assume because, well, first of all, I like, not to like shame anybody with that kind of work, but like working part-time at the hardware store and providing for 3 people, or 4 if you count the mom, who are all way older than you and are also like functioning adults, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, that's a lot to assume, man, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God, because it's sweet that he wants to contribute to the family, but he shouldn't be looking at it as, I'm going to take care of all of you, because that, without meaning to be, does feel like extreme self-insertion and condescending and everything. Yeah, so
right. And it's like, it's also weird that it feels like Phil is not, quote unquote, reading the room. Because, like, they've specifically shown him that they don't like this.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, that's sad for him because, like, clearly, again, it's very important to Phil. And, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have those feelings, right? But if the people who are going to be a part of this are saying no, you shouldn't continue trying to impose your will on them, right? Like, what the frick, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
The post continues. Later, my mom called me and she wasn't disappointed, but admitted it made him very upset and depressed. I told her that if he's embarrassed, doesn't need to be. I get he's excited about the marriage, and we can just laugh this off as a funny story.
Yeah.
She then said that wasn't what he was upset about. He, and she too a little bit, is upset about the fact that he, quote unquote, poured his heart out and I rejected him.
What?
She said, yeah, it is a bit kooky, but this is how he, quote unquote, proves to himself that he's a man. And I guess I was a bit angry and said something like, first off, it's not my job to certify what's between his legs. And second, this doesn't prove he's a man. It just proves he's a nut job. I apologized immediately, but she said she didn't want to hear it and hung up. Ooh, emotions getting high. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh.
She called back 10 minutes later and we apologized. And she begged me to just go along with it until he, quote unquote, has some kids to call his own. I won't go too much into the details here, but she sort of let slip that they plan to try IVF treatment because she's not ready to give up on being a mom just yet. Which I suppose fair enough, right? Like, okay. And while I have my own thoughts about whether or not that's a good idea, I'm not here to litigate on that. We finished up fine, and I reiterated that I'd support her, and she agreed it was definitely a stressful situation for me, but begged me to at least think about it. Which leads me to here. Oh my God, there's more.
Oh no, there's more?
There's more, dude. Okay, I did think it over, and obviously, I'm going to say no. I had a dad, and he died. Rest in peace, Dad. And that's the only dad I've ever needed. I've ever wanted, and I'll ever bestow that title on. I'm not asking if someone's unreasonable or what I should do, more so what I should say. This clearly means a lot to him for some reason, and I deeply love my mom. So I want to try to minimize the damage, especially as we're still so involved in each other's lives and they live behind me. How can I make it clear to them as painlessly as possible that I think this is weird and borderline offensive? I really don't want to rip the Band-Aid off because I fear what I might do to the family. Which, that's fair. That is a minefield, right? Like, how do you navigate that? Especially because your mom directly asked, like, please, dude, just go along with it, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, first off, props to OP for wanting to try and handle this in a way that will do the most minimal damage possible. But I'm not gonna lie, feelings are gonna get hurt. Feelings are gonna get really friggin' hurt. But at the same time, OP is not responsible for the emotions generated by that because like here's the thing, he tried approaching this as maturely and neutrally as possible, I think. Well, not neutrally, but like, you know what I mean? And from yes, this is my experience, but at the same time, I can get your point of view. It's not for me. So yeah, like he's tried really hard, but the mum begging him to consider it and stuff like that is placing the burden of carrying that guy's emotions and problems and stuff like that on himself, and that's not okay. You can't do that, because that also sets a precedent for how things are going to be with the relationship in the future. Yeah,
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I think I very much agree. And here's the thing, right? I understand where I feel like some people would feel like just play along with it. You know, like it's going to be a quote-unquote temporary situation. But the thing is, there's no guaranteeing that. And it's also kind of like the idea of stringing this dude along. Because like, if it's genuinely untenable, because like, it's something that you really you feel weirdly about. Because again, it's like, he's trying to replace your dad, right? Even if he keeps explicitly saying that he's not, like, it is what it is, right? He's trying to be a father figure. And OP has said that his original dad is like the only person that he is willing to call that, because, you know, that dad was there for him, right? And then there's the whole dynamic of all of the siblings being way older than him, the guy who's going to become the father figure, right? It's so hard to make that thing work, because like the way that he seems to want this is to actually be a father figure, right? Like not just like, be called dad, right? Like he really wants to be like a father. And it's like, how does that even work? Like these people have more life experience than you. You know, and it's like, huh?
And also, something to consider is what happens once they actually have kids. They talked about having kids, like potentially through IVF. Is that suddenly going to change the way he treats the adult kids? Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I totally get that. And I will also say that I think it's really important to remember here that despite like the whole age gap thing, right? It's also just they really don't want it, right? So it's really weird that this guy wants to keep pushing for it, right?
Yeah.
The Phil guy, I mean. So, but I totally get that, right? And I also think that the father thing, you kind of earn it, right? When you're like the outside person coming in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like you kind of have to like, for lack of a better term, kind of like make up for lost time, right? Like you're supposed to, as a father, like you're gonna be there supposedly for like the entirety of the kid's lifespan, and you'll be there for them during their formative years and whatnot. So like if you are from the outside coming in, you got a lot to make up for it to earn that title, right? Because this is an earned title, right?
Yes.
So the fact that this guy would just straight up asking for it and expecting it to happen, it's just like, uh-oh, what the heck,
Yeah. Yeah. And actually,
And also-
again, I think it does play into self-delusion. And sorry, the ADHD kicked in. Please continue.
No, you're chill. What was it? I don't remember what I was going to say.
I'm sorry, Big. I'm sorry.
No, you're chill. We're both ADHD gang. I totally get it.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, we are for sure.
I was going to say something about the title of father and how it's earned, and then it's okay. I don't think it was important. Whatever.
Oh no. But yeah, no. It's a tricky situation, but I genuinely don't think they're in the right to pressure them to do this.
Yeah, 100%. Like, what? To expect that, right? It's so weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Anyway, there is more context. There's a lot more context, actually.
Okay.
Okay, so there's an edit. As people were asking, he has no access to my mom's money or anything like that. She rents the house and it came pre-furnished and otherwise has no real assets. She doesn't make a lot of money anyway, so there's no pecuniary motive you could think of. So he's not in for the money. He's not a gold digger, which I guess is in important context too. It's not had to do with the dad thing, I guess, but people were asking. Okay, commenter. I wonder if he grew up without a dad. He's giving a weird 1950s energy to this whole thing. It feels like he only knows about dads from seeing them on the telly.
Yeah.
The OP responds, oh no, his dad's still alive. Both of his parents are. I've met them. They definitely feel odd about the whole situation, but go along with it for his sake.
Ooh.
Okay, so this is more of a him thing than anything, right? Because the parents are still there.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to have like dead parents or anything like that in order to have these sorts of things going on. But it is a little strange.
Right? It's like, okay. Another commenter says, could you compromise and call him Pa or something? And Opie responded, the thing is, it became apparent it's more than just a name to him. He explicitly wants to do father-son activities with me and my brother, with him as the dad, despite the fact that we're both older than him. So,
oh my god.
I think this does show that it is more of a role-playing thing that he wants more than something natural, right? He wants them to fit the roles that he has in his head for them. And I think that's like, yeah, that's not happening, right? Like, no shot, right?
No.
Right? It's like, okay.
Yeah. I was just sort of thinking about it. Like, I like that he's sort of not doing it for the money and stuff like that. And he very much can provide for his wife, like his future wife. That is good. He shouldn't involve the kids in this.
Yeah, because they didn't ask for this, right? And it's like he's just trying to force what he wants on them, right? It's like,
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Another commenter says, if it's so important to his personal identity to find a girl, have kids with her, and raise them as their dad, it seems like marrying a 58-year-old woman with adult children significantly older than himself is a pretty ineffective way to achieve those life goals.
Yeah.
If it's so important to him, he should find someone his own age and make that happen the normal way. It's not your responsibility to make your mom's boy toy feel like a man. You're closer to being his much older brother than his son. Weird. And OP replies, me and my siblings all think he has issues talking to girls his own age, and so it led to this, which I don't know. We don't have context to that, but like he does seem like there are certain things about him that like he's not respecting other people's like wants and whatnot, right? Like,
Yeah.
that checks out, I think,
Yeah. No, I'm just sort of thinking about it because, like, I don't really like using the word weird when it comes to the age gap and stuff like that. I think people are too harsh on age gaps. Once people are consenting adults, you know, go off. But, I don't know where I was going with this. My brain is turned off.
You're chill.
But basically, I think that, you know, like, we have an appreciation for mature ladies here.
Oh yeah.
I'm a mature lady lawyer. There has been an emphasis recently, especially on, this is touching on the point you just made. There's been an emphasis recently on sort of respecting each other's boundaries and stuff like that amongst the younger generation and not putting up with bullshit, etc., etc. And the guy mentions issues, so I am very much wondering if part of those issues is what he's trying to do to these kids, which is, you know, make them play by his rules and everything.
No, I get that. Which I think it's covered in some of the other comments, which one commenter says, I don't know what his end game is here, but if it's a mental health problem or he's trying to create some legal precedent that he intends to exploit later, but it doesn't matter. You don't need to explain, defend, or justify this decision.
Yes.
And OP responds, the end game, I genuinely think he wants to start a family or at least pretend he's the data one. Ever since we met him, it's all he'd ever really gone about and how he needs to be a dad to become a man. Very early on, he asked me if I ever planned to have kids and I said no. And he got quite taken aback, like a mixture of offense and confusion, and sort of seemed to imply I'm either gay, I am, but shh, or trans, because I don't want to be a man then. I beg your unbelievable pardon? What the fuck?
Okay, who has a slipper? We need to throw one at this guy. Okay, that's... No. Parenthood does not define someone's role.
Exactly, right? And I feel like up until this point, I was still feeling kind of sorry for this guy.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, okay, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah, no, that is such a backwards mentality, bro. We were rooting for you to at least possibly grow.
The stonks are like,
exactly. It's like Phil, you had it going until then. You know, we could have sort of sympathized, but nah, you fudged it. Yeah.
Come on. It's Joe Phil, boys. Sell it all now. It's Joe. All right. Another commenter says, hope it works out in the long run, but I was laughing so hard by the end. Such a crazy situation. I think you should talk with your mom and maybe hang out with her fiance, but as bros, not some weird dad situation, which that's a really sane take on this, you know?
Yeah.
OP responds, I have offered this, but every time me and my brother do, he definitely tries to act like, quote unquote, the man of the group, or sets us up for more explicit father-son activities, or just talks about how desperate he is to be a father. A personal favorite was a time when he got his phone out and started reading out some pearls of wisdom he'd obviously found online.
No.
No, dude,
goodbye.
not the reading the quotes from the internet, bro.
This
I can't.
This guy has some real issues to do with masculinity, hey?
Dude, you like masculinity is like really weird and prickly sometimes, but like again, it's not the kid's responsibility to like affirm that for him, you know? That's kind of a him thing to fix. And again, he can't do this. Like he can't just force himself upon these people and be like, oh, I'm you know, like what the frick?
Yeah. Like the fact that here's the thing, because the person who suggested the being bros, etc., now that isn't something you should necessarily expect from your kids to begin with anyway, but it is really nice that they wanted to try and make that happen. And so the fact that he has turned around, taken advantage of that to try and spin his daddy issues into the situation. It's awkward. It's awkward as hell.
It's
weird
as fuck, dude? Like, what the hell even, right?
Does he get them from Pinterest?
But there's
Honestly,
also-
probably.
It's probably, right? Like those motivational quotes that have like the sunset in the background.
Oh no.
OP also has this to say about like his probable low self-interest. Yeah, I want to be gentle because I do think he has that warped self-esteem and a lot of other issues. Definitely not all with it. I do know his parents and they're totally normal, nice people who go along with this for... He's mentioned internet friends and friends from a D&D group. Wait, hold on. I feel so attacked. Am I Phil? But I've never met them. Hold up. I don't want to be a father, though. Get out of here, Phil. Me and my siblings have tried talking with his parents, but from the way they've come across, they really don't want to get involved any more than they have to, unfortunately. But thank you. Hopefully the conclusion of this will be gentle. So... All right, so that's neither here nor there. I would say, like, having internet friends and friends from a D&D group, I don't think necessarily means you have low self-esteem, right? But like,
No, not at all. Again, the way this guy's talked, he kind of has some like a geek prejudices, not necessarily meaning to, but you can tell he sort of does. So
Yeah. This is the type of person who watches Big Bang Theory and thinks that's how every nerd is.
yes.
You know? Like every nerd is a Sheldon Cooper or whatever, you know? Like, come on, man. What the frick? All right. Now, you'd think that's the end of the line, but
oh no.
There's an update.
No.
4 days later. All right. So let's see, dude. I told both my siblings, and we agreed we'd collectively put our foot down with Phil at our next family dinner next week. Especially after an incident where Phil referred to my brother as sport and asked if he wanted to go see a baseball game with him. Admittedly, I was a bit spurred on by what you all said and got involved, pinging him back with, "Aw, no tickets for me, Daddy."
Oh my god, no! Oh wow.
Oh, what are you doing? Why are you stoking the flames? And my brother responded with, "Daddy wants me to alter himself, Hot." Oh no, dude! Bro!
Oh.
Dude, the sudden escalation? Dude, what is happening?
You know, they took "I want peace," threw it out the window, and they're like, "Fuck it, we're gonna watch this burn."
Oh no, dude! They set the whole house on fire. What the frick, man? Okay. Oh god, dude, that went crazy at the end, dude. What the frick?
Oh.
Phil took a few minutes to respond before saying he was shocked, speechless, and disgusted. He then messaged me in private to say he was utterly appalled and that, quote unquote, he'd never disrespect his own father the way you boys did.
Oh. Whoa. He did not use that phrase. He did what?
I think at this point, there's no good guys anymore, dude. There's no good guys in this story anymore.
I mean,
it's just the mom now.
I laughed so hard my bottle broke, but oh my god.
Dude, it's insane, dude. It's insane, bro. Like, what the frick even is happening, dude? It's like,
oh no.
It continues. I kind of lost it at this point, which I guess rightfully so, and said, quote unquote, "Right, that's because you're not my father, Phil. You're a 24-year-old man-child dating my mother. You have no right to my respect, especially not to the respect a father gets." He went for the throat, dude. Dude went for the throat, man. I immediately said sorry, but then blocked his number. And left the group chat. Apparently, he sent a similar thing to my brother, who responded with more daddy stuff.
Oh no. Brother just said, "I'm leading into the chaos."
and Phil blocked him. What is this family, dude?
What happened to making peace?
I don't know, dude. There was like Fuck this shit. I'm out.
Oh
Let's
my
just
god.
set this house on fire.
Also, can I just say though, there is one surefire way to stop someone saying daddy in a non-say-so, in a say-so way, and that's to use it in a non-say-so way consistently. And so brother is doing his best to ruin this for Phil.
Dude, he's actually just trolling at this point, dude. Like, what the frick, man?
Yeah.
Well, that aside, I don't think that family dinner is going ahead. No shit, dude. After all that.
Nah.
After the original post blew up, it seems someone from his Lions Club found it and reported it to their chair or whatever. And Phil has been expelled.
What?
Or resigned or in the process of one of the two. He removed nearly all mentions of the Lions from his social media and no longer mentions being a member, with his last post on it being some cryptic goodbye post where it kind of drones on about what it means to be a man in the modern day and the duty of fatherhood bestowed on all men at birth. What the frick? Really weird. So he got kicked out of his precious baseball club, which, okay.
Booger? Okay, but how would they know it was him? I wonder if he has talked about these issues at work, because that is the only way, surely. That is the only way, surely.
Surely, if his whole personality is being a father, he's probably done this shit before, right? Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And plus, like, I don't know, it might also just be like, he fits a very specific mold. Like, how many people have this thought process and is also like a Lions fan?
And in their 20s and
Right? And it's like, I guess I kind of like, and also he's dating like a 58-year-old woman.
Yeah.
You know? Like, who else could it have been, I suppose, you know?
Yeah.
My mom called me in a panic, half in a rage after about the quote-unquote stuff I'd been telling him about him, for breaking down and saying we need to meet, which I'm sad for, because like the mom is caught in the middle, right? Like she's just actually trying to get some strange, man. Come on. Which we did, and got my brother to go over too. I know he has temporarily moved back in with his parents in the next town over, but from my understanding, they still want to go ahead with the wedding. But I think that's more so because they've already spent money on it.
Oh, that's no, don't do that. Please don't do that.
Don't do that, dude. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, bro.
No. Like, here's the thing.
She said, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so if they do go ahead with the wedding, you don't have to have the kids' approval. Like, they're adults, you know. It would be better. It would be better to have approval.
Oh, yeah.
But like, if they're still in love with each other, that's one thing. If it's just for the money, no.
No, I get it. That's like a sunk cost thing, right? Like, just because you're gonna lose stuff on it doesn't mean you want to lose more on it, right? Like, come on, bro, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
When she said she was quote unquote determined to have more kids, my brother did step up and asked if she really thought that was a good idea at her age. And I pointed out that assuming she had the baby next year and she lived to be 80, they still wouldn't have finished college. She just stammered on about how, quote unquote, people live longer these days, before breaking down and crying, admitting she's not ready to give up mothering due to some deep-seated trauma and fears about the family breaking apart that I won't go into for her sake, which feels bad, right? Like I don't think the mom is bad here at all, right? Like, she just, you know, she has some needs and stuff, and to be fair, she went to a consenting adult, right? And like, that's fine, you know? Oh, sorry, go ahead. Were you saying something?
No, I was just processing. Oof.
Okay. Yeah, no, big oof for the mom, dude. The brothers are crazy, though. I have to say, where's the daughter in this situation, right? Where's the sister? Good question. Has she just pieced out? She isn't part of the story at all, right?
No, I like that she just gave him a withering stare and goes, you know what? I'm not part of this.
I'm out. I don't want this drama. Bye. When we reassured her that we weren't going anywhere, she calmed down and we had a very good, honest conversation where she said agreed to drop the IVF stuff on the grounds that it'd be too expensive and unlikely to get greenlit, but she's still adamant it's scientifically possible. She should be allowed to do it from an ethical standpoint because she has to win that argument. Frowny face. Which, look, I kind of get it, but also, like, we're playing with a human life here, right? And I'm not 100% familiar with, like, the risks when you have a pregnancy later in life, right? I'm actually not very familiar with that, but I know it's risky, right? So I kind of get it right, from another side, and like, you can adopt, right? I think isn't that like good too, right?
Okay, so here's the thing. Adopting is equally as hard, if not more so. And there's a whole lot of complications with that. I think adopting is fantastic, but it's not an easy get a child and raise them sort of thing. But you are right. The older you get, the more complications there are likely to be with pregnancy, despite the fact that honestly, I think often with age comes a better ability to be a parent sometimes.
Right, for sure.
Physically, there are a lot of problems there. And it sounds like she has the wrong motivations for having a child, because you don't use a baby as a Band-Aid.
Yep, exactly, right? Like, that's having the baby for all the wrong reasons, right? So it's just like, what the heck?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I don't think it's her kid's place to say you shouldn't do this, but I do think that they should challenge her on why she's doing it.
Which seems like that's kind of what they did, right? I'm not sure if they like said, no, you're not allowed to do this, right? But like...
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair.
So he continues, me and my brother highly doubt anything will ever come of that, so we're not that worried anymore. The very good news is she's also agreed to look into therapy/psychiatric help.
Yay, we applaud.
With her trauma.
Yes.
And we've helped get her in touch with a nice lady in town to unpack all this in a more healthy way. So at least one person is getting the help that they need. We love that. We stand mental health.
We stand. Yes, absolutely.
I have no idea what's happened with Phil or what's going to happen with him, but I did make it clear to my mom that he is not my dad. He's not even my stepdad. Nope. I am not a kid. He's never going to be either one outside of legal fuckery. She relented pretty quickly. I think she's finally broken out of her shell at least. And we've agreed that if things go ahead, that's going to be a huge red line. Though I don't know if you'll want to be friends with me after all this, LMAO.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for the help on the original post, y'all. All right. Oh my God, dude. What a roller coaster, right? I will say, I feel sad for Phil to a certain extent because his life is kind of crashing and burning around him.
Yep.
You know? Yep. Like, he lost the whole Lions Club thing, which, look, I get it. You know, Mans was being weird and not gonna lie, some of his beliefs kind of fucked up. Yep. You know?
Yep.
But I feel like that still sucks, you know? Like losing a large chunk of like what you're like. Look, they mentioned that the Lions were a big part of his life. It's like it was plastered all over his social media. It's the other thing he wouldn't shut up about besides like being a father, you know? So it's like I feel kind of bad, but at the same time, Phil, this is kind of your own doing too, you know? Like the Reddit post was not, but welcome to the consequences of your own actions, you know?
Yeah. I think with Phil, he's got issues that he needs to work on.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, here's the thing, right? I feel like everybody has issues they need to work on. Everybody needs therapy, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, Phil, because he's been affecting a lot of people in his life with that, I feel like especially so, right? Like, come on now.
Yeah.
It's not other people's responsibility to fix your issues, right?
No, and to be honest, I don't think he should be a dad until he is ready to stop projecting that sort of stuff, because the kid is going to pick that up. He's going to pick up all of that mentality sort of stuff. So you don't want a kid to have that if you can avoid it. So
true, right? It's hard, and like it's also just a host of other like messed up things for the kids, right? Like if for example they grew up like feeling that I was normal, right?
Yeah,
kind of messes them up for like later on too, right?
Oh
like,
yeah,
they pick on that up, but also like what happens when they get into relationships and whatnot, and that's also the expectation. Like what?
Yes.
To be a man, I need to be this and that. What the heck, right? Toxic masculinity, right? Like what the frick?
Yep.
Also, I have one more thing to add.
Oh yes.
There is another update.
What? No! Why?
The next day, another update. It's a shorter one, but there is an update.
Okay.
Bit of an update as I can't respond to everybody, but I think the marriage is off.
Oh, okay.
No. But like they did say they were only in it for the money at this point, and it's just like just call it out, man. It'll be worse later on.
Yeah.
Phil has gone AWOL again and has had a huge argument with his family as they've demanded he call off the wedding and date people his own age. Well, okay. The calling off the wedding I think is the right call, but like people is only,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe he's not into that, you know?
That's
fair.
none of their business, in my
Yeah, that's
opinion.
whatever.
He's an
That's
adult.
whatever.
They
That's
can
whatever.
get the fuck out.
Yeah, that's whatever, dude. This apparently made him snap. Me and my mom have met his mom and older brother who said Phil is very insecure around girls his own age and has, quote unquote, never been able to talk to them. Hence his preference. This very deeply upset my mom, and after some begging from all of us, she has agreed to push the wedding back, though she wants to keep dating him. Maybe the sex is really good. I don't know.
Gotta get that vitamin D, girl.
I have no idea where Phil is, though his brother assumes he's couch surfing with his D&D friends who have been sending me and my brother some not nice messages. Because clearly we're just jealous of, quote unquote, the MILF hunter. What the
Oh, no
Okay.
one wants to hear
Okay.
their mum being
Uh-oh.
talked about like that.
Yeah, but also, like, if that's the type of people that Phil is hanging out with,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude. Hang on, right? Maybe that's where the toxicity is coming from, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of messed up. The last bit is, if any of you socially inept fucks are reading this, I don't need to chase middle-aged folk because I can talk to boys my own age like a normal person. Peace. Fair enough, man.
Again, I do think that this dude has problems with geeks. You know,
It's a little much.
It is, but you don't unleash your friends on people. And if a friend approaches you to unleash on someone, you say, "Calm thy tits, my good friend."
Yep.
Yeah, you don't turn into a rabid chihuahua.
Weird to do, right? It's like, what even is this, right? So it's like, I guess that's that for Phil, man. Like, if the wedding is off, right? I mean, they're still gonna see each other and date and stuff, but
Yeah.
I guess at least the dad thing is out the window. So I can say that's good, right? But
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I do feel.
That was.
Yeah, I do feel bad for him having issues with girls his age, and I do think that is something he needs to work on. The mum doesn't
100%.
deserve to be dated just because she's a type.
100%. Like, it's okay to have a type, but for it to be just that, you
Yes.
know, it's like fetishizing somebody. That's not cool,
Yes.
dude. You know.
Yeah,
That's not
exactly. Oh, wow.
Anyway, so what a roller coaster that was, right? Dude, Reddit
Yeah.
is wild, man. Sometimes it takes some digging to find these, and I am glad to have resources for it. But holy shit, dude, right?
Yeah, no, you've done well. You have, you found some stuff that has, kind of broke me a little bit.
Oh, there's more, man. We ain't done yet.
I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, dude, it's your boy Ponder. If you guys don't know, I'm a variety streamer from the Philippines. Right now, we're playing Expedition 13. It is so good right now, dude. I was so devastated by.
Oops, sorry.